Look around you. People aren't thinking anymore, they're reacting. Eyes blank, hands twitching, grabbing their phones like life support. No patience, no stillness. Just dopamine hits every few seconds. They can't read a page without checking their notifications. They can't pray without needing background noise. They can't stop because they're addicted and they don't even know it. And here's what no one wants to admit. This isn't just distraction, it's decay. Mental, emotional, spiritual. Their focus is gone. Their mind is fogged. Their soul is numb. And if you don't fight back, you become one of them. Passive, distracted, spiritually blind. But if you're ready to detox the poison, I'll show you how to see again, with brutal, uncomfortable clarity. Step 1, identify the trap. You're not bad at focusing. You've been reprogrammed to fail. Every scroll, every reel, every buzz from your phone, that's not harmless. That's brain damage disguised as entertainment. Your attention span? Gone. Your ability to sit in silence? Dead. You crave noise. You avoid stillness. You can't even take a shower without playing a video. And you think that's normal? That's the trap. They didn't put chains on your hands. They went deeper. They hijacked your mind. Now anything that builds you feels boring, and anything that destroys you feels fun. Prayer feels hard. Discipline feels impossible. But porn, one click. Reels, endless. Fast food, everywhere. And here's the brutal truth. You've been trained to choose weakness, trained to avoid anything real, trained to chase pleasure over purpose. This isn't a joke. This isn't just a bad habit. This is mental warfare, and you've already been hit. You want to be a man of God? You want to lead? Then you better learn how to fight back, because the enemy already knows how to keep you soft, distracted, and blind. This is step 1. See the trap. Call it what it is, and get ready to burn it to the ground. Step 2. Cut the supply. This is where boys fold and men get free. You want clarity? You want strength? Then stop feeding the thing that's killing you. This isn't a trend. It's not a challenge. This is war. And war starts by cutting the enemy's supply line. For the next 72 hours, your mission is simple. Starve the addiction. No reels. No TikTok. No porn. No junk food. No background noise while you work. Because every time you reach for that dopamine hit, you're training your brain to choose comfort over clarity, weakness over strength, escape over presence. And let me warn you now, it's going to hurt. You'll feel bored, irritated, anxious for no reason. You'll reach for your phone without even realizing it. Good. That's withdrawal. That's your brain screaming because it's no longer in charge. You are. Most men run back to comfort at this point. They can't handle the silence. They fold before the fog even lifts. But if you hold the line, if you push through the full 72 hours, everything begins to shift. Why 3 days? There's a reason it's not just one. You've been flooding your brain with dopamine for years. You don't undo that in a few hours. You need to break the loop. And science backs this. Your dopamine sensitivity starts to reset. Your reward system begins to stabilize. Your prefrontal cortex, your focus and self-control starts to come back online. You're not fully rewired in 3 days, but you've crossed the threshold. The noise starts to die. The cravings lose their grip, and your mind becomes quiet enough to hear something real again. But it's not just neuroscience. It's biblical. Jonah spent 3 days in the belly of the fish before surrendering. Jesus laid in the tomb for 3 days before rising in power. Paul was blind for 3 days before his spiritual eyes opened. 3 days to break, to reset, to resurrect. God didn't use 3 days by accident. It's his pattern. Isolate, strip, transform. So when you hit that wall on day 2 and everything in you wants to quit, don't. Because day 3 is where the fog lifts, where the numbness breaks and able to hear God clearly. You've fed your flesh long enough. Now it's time to cut the supply. Let the noise die. Let the cravings scream. Because on the other side of silence is strength. Step 3 begins the rebuild, and only the disciplined survive it. You may want to save this video if you're serious about your next 72 hours. Step 3, replace the hits with habits. After 72 hours without cheap dopamine, something starts to shift. You think clearer, you're less jumpy, you feel like you've finally taken your foot off the gas. But here's the catch. If you don't fill that space with something intentional, you'll go back. Not because you're weak, but because your brain needs rhythm. So instead of running back to noise, build habits that gave you more clarity, more presence, more power every single day. Here's what that looks like. Walk in silence. 20 minutes a day. No music, no phone, just walk. At first it'll feel uncomfortable, but then you'll notice your thoughts stop racing. You start hearing what you've been avoiding, and that's where clarity begins. One hard thing first. Most men wake up reacting, scrolling, checking, consuming. By 9 a.m. they've already lost the day. Flip the script. Do one hard thing before anything else. Write, study, build, no distractions. Why? Your brain is most sensitive to dopamine in the morning. What you do first trains what it craves. Hard tasks activate your prefrontal cortex, your focus and discipline center. It also triggers momentum. Start strong and your brain wants to keep going. It's not about productivity. It's about identity. I do hard things even when I don't feel like it. Cold showers. Not just discipline training, it changes your chemistry. Cold exposure spikes dopamine by up to 250%. The kind of dopamine that fuels focus, not addiction. It lowers cortisol, stress hormone, helps restore testosterone balance, and may even improve fertility and sperm quality. And when done consistently, it trains your brain to stay calm under pressure. This isn't a trend. It's a weapon. Use it. Write one page. You don't need to be a writer. You need to offload the chaos in your head. One page. Every day. No filter. Why? Because your brain isn't built to store everything. When you don't unload thoughts, they loop. That's why you feel stuck, anxious, foggy. But when you write it down, you close mental tabs. You get clarity. You stop reacting and start thinking. And it goes deeper. Writing reduces stress by calming the emotional center of your brain. It exposes patterns you'd never see in your head. It sharpens decision-making. It builds identity. Here's what I'm feeling. Here's what I'm facing. Here's how I move forward. This isn't self-help. It's mental weaponry. And every man should have it. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. You're not grinding. You're just wrecking your brain. Sleep isn't soft. It's where your masculinity rebuilds itself. Over 70% of your daily testosterone built during deep sleep. Your dopamine system resets at night so you can focus, not crave. Your prefrontal cortex, the command center for discipline and clarity, that thing shuts down when you're sleep deprived. And if you're training, good luck growing without recovery. Sleep is when your body repairs. No rest is no results. And here's the truth. Lack of sleep doesn't make you a beast. It makes you unstable, emotional, and weak. You want to lead? You want to dominate your mornings? Start by mastering your nights. These aren't rules. They're tools to keep your brain grounded and your masculinity sharpened. You already cut the supply. Now you give your system something better to run on. Step 4, protect your mornings. Look, most men ruin their day before they even take a piss. The moment they wake up, they grab their phone and scroll straight into weakness. Reels, notifications, porn, headlines. Their soul hasn't even had time to breathe, and it's already choking. You think that's harmless? That's how you train your brain to chase noise instead of purpose. And once that pattern is set, good luck trying to lead. This is why we live by one rule. No dopamine before noon. No reels. No scrolling. No entertainment garbage. You don't owe the world your attention the moment you wake up. You don't need to catch up. You need to get ahead. Because the first thing you feed your brain becomes the blueprint. If you start with stimulation, your brain spends the rest of the day chasing more of it. But if you start with silence, with structure, with scripture, you anchor your mind in strength, not chaos. You say you want to hear from God, then stop giving your first thoughts to the algorithm. So what do you do instead? Simple. Sit in silence. Let your thoughts breathe. Read truth. Open scripture before you open Instagram. Plan your mission. Don't drift. Build. Do deep work. Write, think, create, focus. Your mornings are sacred, not because they're peaceful, but because they're untouched. No one else has spoken into your soul yet. That's where clarity lives. And here's the part that's backed by science. A part of your brain that controls discipline, focus, and long-term thinking is sharpest in the morning. Your dopamine system, it hasn't been hijacked yet. Your thoughts are clearer. Your soul is quieter. And that's exactly why the enemy wants your mornings distracted. Because if he can steal your first attention, he can hijack the rest of your day without even fighting for it. This isn't about being extreme. It's about being unavailable. Unavailable to anything that steals your edge. You don't get mornings back. Once they're gone, they're gone. So protect them ruthlessly. Because the man who wins his morning usually doesn't fold by night. Step 5. Lock in your focus system. You don't need more motivation. You need a framework, a rhythm, a system that holds when your emotions don't. Because without one, you'll keep doing what you've always done. React, drift, repeat. But the right system, it makes focus feel normal. It makes discipline feel automatic. That's what we're building here. Here's the blueprint. 30-minute deep work blocks. Set a timer. Work for 30 minutes. No phone. No switching. Just one task. Full focus. Then pause. Take a 5 to 10 minute break. Breathe, reset, go again. Do this 3 times a day, and you'll unlock something most men have never felt. Real momentum. Why does this work? Because your brain can't multitask. Every time you switch, you fracture your clarity. But when you go all in, for short, intense bursts, you get more done in 1 focused hour than most men do in 5. Next, the phone jail hack. If your phone is within reach, it will win. So remove it. Airplane mode, different room, turn it off, whatever it takes. Out of sight, out of reach, out of your way. The first few days will feel uncomfortable, like you're missing something. That's your brain detoxing from constant reaction. Let it happen. You're not just ignoring distractions. You're reclaiming power. Now, 1 mission per block. Don't juggle 5 things. Don't stack your to-do list with 15 priorities. Pick 1 mission per block. 1 task. 1 target. 1 win at a time. You'll stop feeling scattered because your mind knows where to go and what to destroy. These aren't hacks. They're handles. So when life gets loud, your system holds you steady. You won't always feel motivated, but with this structure, you won't need to. Because now, you don't chase focus. You carry it. Step 6. Break the overthinking loop. You don't need more thoughts. You need more movement. You ever feel like you're stuck in your own head? Like you know what to do, but your brain keeps spinning? What if I fail? What if it's the wrong move? What if I mess this up again? That's not clarity. That's hesitation. And it's keeping you stuck. Overthinking isn't just thinking too much. It's mental paralysis caused by too many open loops, unfinished decisions, delayed actions, too much input, and not enough movement. And here's what most men don't know. Dopamine grows after action, not before. You're waiting to feel ready, but the readiness doesn't come until after you've moved. So here's the play. Stop trying to solve the whole thing. Just do something. Anything. Shrink the decision. Pick 1 action and hit go. Not when you're motivated. Now. Because the fastest way to get clarity is to move. This isn't about rushing. It's about refusing to stay stuck. You don't need more information. You don't need another overthinking session in the shower. You need movement. Movement creates clarity. So kill the loop, shrink the task, and move. Step 7, rewire your identity. You've cut the noise. You've rebuilt the system. But if you still see yourself as weak, you'll go back. This is where most men fail. They change their habits, but never change their identity. And if you still believe deep down, I'm lazy, I'm broken, I'm addicted, then your actions will eventually follow that belief. Every time. Here's the truth. You can't out-discipline a weak identity. Because when stress hits, you fall back to what you believe about yourself. So stop calling yourself names God never gave you. Stop dragging old labels into a new life. You're not trying anymore. You've already started. Now walk like it. This isn't about pretending you're perfect. It's about refusing to stay the same. Every hard choice you make, that's you proving who you really are. Focused, clear, unshackled. And don't forget this. You were created by God, in His image, on purpose, with a mind, a mission, and authority. You're not soft. You're not some dopamine slave. You're not a mistake. You were built for clarity, for battle, for truth. So stop living like the old man. He's dead. Act like the one God made. That's it. You've seen the trap. You've learned how to break it. Now it's on you. If you need to rewatch the steps, do it. Write it down if you have to. Whatever it takes. But don't just watch this and move on. Take the next 72 hours seriously. If this hit you, don't forget to show some love by liking the video. Subscribe for more unfiltered lessons like this. We are Unshackled Soul.